of it.
All right, we interrupt this regular newscast with that reminder on this day. Snap out of it fast, because is it me or is it us? Are we so lacking confidence that we're lacking something else? A backbone. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. And on a day, politicians make speeches about messes at AIG they should have seen coming. And we buy it. What else are we buying? What else are we swallowing? What else are we not challenging? China says our treasuries are suspect, and we don't say a thing. Europe jumps ugly on our Treasury Secretary, and he doesn't say a thing. The world points to the U.S. creating a mess, and the White House doesn't say a thing. My God, what's become of us? Accepting lectures on how to run an efficient government from countries that are all government, allowing China, a country well-versed in things tainted, to preach the same about our securities. Have we no pride, no guts, no anything? Now, I am not saying foreigners don't have a point, but do we not have a rebuttal? When they blast us for a crisis that is historic, can we not point out history? I don't know, when the whole lot of Europe was on the brink of nearly 70 years of destruction, 70 years ago. That was historic for them. Who changed history for them? They'd be wise to remember that. We would be wise to remind them of that. Now, they do not owe us an eternal thank you, but we are due more than an international screw you. We are better than this to succumb to this. A superpower afraid to speak its mind and show its character, being led around the nose by economic Johnny-come-latelys who have as yet to show the fortitude to get through so much as a recession, let alone as we have, a depression and at least 4 recessions. Crisis breeds character, not bitching. We didn't bitch about saving the world 70 years ago. They are hardly the ones to bitch about demanding we save it today. We did not create all the world's messes. For that, the world must look at something messier. A mirror. Now, I'm sorry, I just wanted to put this odd confluence of events in some perspective here. Not a Democratic strategist, Bernard Whitman, who says the only thing odd here is my argument. We are not losing our backbone. Bernard says we're building it. Are we? Do you think we are?
We absolutely are. The American people were exceedingly clear last fall. They said we had lost a backbone. We needed to reclaim it, not only in the economy, but on health care, on education, and on energy policy. We elected a president who promised that he would work on all 4 of these areas immediately as soon as he got into office, and we've seen that.
Well, Bernie, does it bother you
that
the American people might have said that? I'm not sure it's across the board that they said
well,
that.
the majority didn't.
Well, they didn't say to do all simultaneously, by the way. But is it fair, then, for us to sort of keep taking this dissing we get from abroad, China lecturing us on tainted goods, Congress playing fast and loose with this AIG saying it's not our problem, we didn't do it, the world, Europe in particular, heavily laden with bureaucracy, offering tips on how we can improve ours, and we don't counter, we don't challenge, we don't oppose?
Look, while I agree with your frustration, we don't have the luxury of getting in an international tit-for-tat. We have got to focus here at home.
Well, that's it. Last time you came here, you said that we had to be a better global example. They're still jumping ugly on us. They're still saying we have to set a better example. And all I'm saying is, well, before we set a better example, why don't we all set a better example? No, because you ain't it.
Because we have got to get our fiscal house in order, our energy house in order, healthcare and education. As we reform these systems, as we reclaim our destiny as Americans, then we will look far better in the world.
Where's the gumption, Bernie? Where's the gumption, Bernie, to say, I know. Then where's the gumption when they're jumping ugly on us and saying, France, by the way, telling us, you really should improve the efficiency of your government. China talking about our so-called tainted treasuries. Where is the gumption on the part of anyone in power, by the way, Democrat or Republican, to say, hello, excuse me?
Because we need to get our programs right, and we need to fix things at home before we can go abroad and say, look at us, we are again the beacon of the world. We've got some real house cleaning to do, Neil, and until we do that...
In our worst, we were better beacon than some of these guys at their best, and yet we suck it up. We just had a Treasury Secretary who came back from Europe, hat in hand, his head between his legs, saying more or less, hey, you know, we're trying to fix this, we're trying to do this. Why not confront them and say, look, we've got our problems, we're going to address these problems, but when push comes to shove, we have handled these problems. And who are you, by the way, to judge us on our problems?
Getting sucked into an international tit-for-tat, I think, is a waste of time when we have to drive programs through Congress,
No, you know what this is? It's not a waste of time.
Back to work,
we're so we're so beholden to these guys, and we feel, oh, if we say anything that gets them upset, they're not going to buy our paper. We're so afraid. It's like we're walking on eggshells, and you know it.
I would argue that actions speak far louder than words, and when we begin to grow our economy again, when we begin to fix the healthcare system, when we begin to actually improve our test scores relative to other countries, then and only then will our actions be able to speak.
So does it bother you that Europe wants us to solve all these crises simultaneously, get the results soon? You say the American people voted to solve all these issues simultaneously, which, by the way, they did not. They had long-term plans, but they didn't say get it all solved tomorrow.
But everything's
now we have it all on the table, all simultaneously, and the lecture we're getting from abroad is deal with it all simultaneously, and we're saying hat in hand, we're trying to deal with it. Just be patient. Why don't we come back at them and say, look, you know, before you start judging us on what we should do simultaneously and our percentage of GDP spending via the government, take a look at yours. Why are we doing that?
Because we elected Barack Obama to be president of the United States, not president of the world. And frankly, it doesn't really concern me if the world is criticizing us.
He is more or less trying to say he wants to be liked by the world. He wants to be respected by the world. All meritorious goals. But are we so interested in being loved abroad that we're forgetting what matters here? That we're a great country here, that we're making progress here, that it's not coming to the death step of what the Europeans want, what the Chinese want, what foreign marketers want, that we're so busy trying to impress them because we think in the past 8 years we've offended them, that we'll do anything to get back in their good graces, even taking their bitching and their relentless whining and lecturing about the security of our paper and our goods and our treasuries and our government.
I think that we have got to make advances here at home. And obviously, they've rattled you far more than they've rattled me. And I frankly think the majority of the American people don't really care what the Chinese have to say. So why should we give them credence and credibility by engaging in a tit-for-tat debate?
You don't think we're giving them credence and credibility when we don't respond to that? When we just accept, yeah, you're right, we do have problems. Yeah, you're right. We don't challenge the idea of the quality of our paper, the quality of our goods. When it takes the press secretary Gibbs to tell people we believe in the strength of our paper, of our treasuries, of our securities, you don't think we should be doing more of that to remind the world all this whining you hear from abroad, it just ain't so. You know, the best defense is not staying silent on this. The best defense is to be on offense.
Which is to reboot our economy. Getting into a pissing match internationally will only leave us in stasis here at home. I think that we've got to bring Americans back to work, and we've got to get our children better schooled, which, by the way, is exactly what's going to happen through this economic recovery plan.
Does it bug you that they think they have your number? They think they have your number, and they think you're so desperate to be back in their good graces and get their good money that you'll kowtow to them. That's the message a lot of them are sending.
I don't think they or we believe that to any extent whatsoever.
Really?
Yes.
Really? You don't think in the most remote sense they are trying to put us...
If the Chinese want to fool themselves into believing that we, for some reason, are going to take their criticism lying down and not act...
We do. We have, and we do.
I simply don't believe that, because as we begin to reboot this economy, it will show China very clearly. So you wouldn't say that?
You'd just say, go ahead, criticize us. I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces on me, sticks to you. That's an asinine position.
No, I actually think as we move this economy forward, then our actions are going to speak far louder than our words.
Bernard, you're a good man. I'm saying we're at a key inflection point here, and the inflection point is this. We are letting the world decide the agenda.
Couldn't disagree with you more. Our agenda is fixed by our economic problems, our healthcare problems, and our educational deficiencies.
The world is saying the U.S. isn't leading because the U.S. is decaying, and we aren't saying boo. Boo.
No, we're putting Americans back to work. And we are putting transparency, accountability into this system, which was sorely lacking for the last 8 years. We got 8 years of saber-rattling with George W. Bush, and look where it led us.
Okay. Well, I think we all need a share moment here just to slap them. That's what we are. But, Bernard, very good seeing you. Happy St. Patty's Day.
And to you.
And we'll see what happens, because it's not good what's going on. All right, well...